Yeah, what it is, what it do. Yeah, what it is, what it do. Coming through. Some knowledge for you. And the topic of the day today will be cycles in life, cycles of everything, cycles of the market, cycles in business. It's all the same. So, I'm going to take a look at what would be called the psychology of a market cycle. And this is something that was originally intended to be used for investment purposes. However, I have found that it applies to everything in life pretty much because, as everybody knows, life isn't some kind of steady game. Life is a up and down game. There's good times and there's bad times, kind of like a roller coaster. You know, you got highs and lows. And life is just like business. Life is just like the markets. You want to buy low, sell high. You want to start putting things together when times really don't look like it's the best time. Kind of a counterintuitive type thing, and start kind of taking profits. Start taking lessons. Start taking any kind of value that you might be able to get at the time when it seems the most unlikely that everything is going to fall apart. So, there's different stages of these market cycles. Disbelief, to hope, to optimism, to belief, to thrill, to euphoria. Then comes complacency, then anxiety, then denial, then panic, then capitulation, then anger, then depression, and then back to the beginning of disbelief. And these cycles go over and over again. I learned about this stuff about a year ago when I really started getting into markets, understanding how everything kind of works together. You know, all the markets are different, but yet they all kind of depend or rely on each other in different ways that might not be noticeable from the start, but the more you learn about it and the more you understand it, you can kind of see how everything is connected, just like in life. Even when I first saw this chart and I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense, but then I would still, make mistakes that just looking at this chart, like I should have been able to avoid it, but it wasn't until I really made those mistakes that I was able to kind of put everything together and look back at the chart and say, yeah, okay, now it makes sense, so I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to make that mistake again, and vice versa. That profit I made, that gain that I made, those accomplishments that I made. If I look at this chart and then I kind of compare this to the process, then next time I go through a similar situation, I'll be able to capitalize more. I'll be able to achieve more, and so on and so forth. So, going back again, it's different stages, different phases, starting with belief at the bottom, or I'm sorry, disbelief at the bottom, euphoria at the top, then it starts to go down to complacency, bottom, anger, depression, starts going back up into disbelief again. So I'm going to get into how this all works. So imagine a wave or a series of waves to get a better idea of the shape of this kind of graph. Just like ups and downs. So you start at the bottom. Let's say the price of something is really low. Let's say you're going through a hard time with something. Things aren't looking good. Whatever situation is, life, money, business, applies to everything. So, when times are really bad, people are saying, times are so bad right now, nothing's ever going to work out. They're in disbelief that even if a good thing starts to happen, that oh, it's never going to work out, it hasn't before, all that kind of thought process. So when things start to go good, when prices start to go up, when the situation starts to get better, disbelief changes to hope. So it's still hard for people to believe that, things are getting better, but they start to get a little bit of hope when there is some sustained increase in positivity or whatever. So when things start to go up, people get that hope and they're like, well, you know what, maybe things can get better. Maybe it's possible. So that's really, when it's time to take a position, time to really, get invested in something, when everybody else is still in disbelief. That's really the best time, and that's, most people would consider that the worst time because they don't believe that anything good is going to happen. But that's really the time when, okay, things are really about to probably be turning around soon. Time to really start, putting that effort in. Time to really start, realizing that you're onto something. Stick with it type mindset. So when things start to really, keep going better, and it's like, okay, now you realize, like, okay, there's something to this, like this is actually gonna work. Start to become optimistic, start to become more positive, and you're like, yeah, this is really real, like this is really gonna happen. All right, now by this point, this is kind of like, the end of where you really want to be investing, or be really putting your resources into something, like keep working on what you're doing, keep going for it, whatever. But this is the point where, just kind of like be cautious, start to be cautious when you become optimistic, because what comes next is the belief. And this is when everybody starts to believe, like there's no doubt this is working now, like everything's going good, everything's going back up, times are going to be good again, things along that line of thought. Well, this is when the majority of people start to really put their eggs in the basket, start to really invest, start to really, put everything they got into what's going on and everything like that. So now everybody's in for the most part. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, man, I'm feeling so much thrill, and that's the next step, is thrill, because everything's going good, everything's looking great. So people are like, oh man, everything's looking so good, I'm gonna buy more, I'm gonna like invest more, I'm gonna put more, whatever the situation calls for. And not only that, but this is a time when a lot of people go around telling everybody else about their good decisions, about how this is working out, about how, they should do it too. They feel good about it, they want to help other people out, they want to show other people that they can profit or make some kind of positive achievement based off of what's going on. Well, when you start to hear people talking like that, that's the time to be cautious. I mean, everything's looking good and everything, but just be cautious, because next is going to be the top, and that's going to have people feeling euphoria. So everyone's going to be saying, how big of a genius they are, how smart they are. Everybody's going to be rich. This is going to work out for everybody. Everything's going so well. Nothing can stop me. Overconfidence, all these kind of things. Well, this is really where, the majority of people that haven't already gotten in on the trend or the market or whatever it is, the business idea, this is where they're all like, man, look how happy everyone else is. Look at how well this worked for everyone else. And they call it FOMO, fear of missing out. So like, oh man, and it's like a psychological thing, because everybody's saying, I'll feel so envious, or I'll feel so bad if I didn't take advantage of this opportunity like everybody else, and watch everybody else, make a profit or an achievement off of what's going on, while I'm just sitting aside and watching. So basically what people do then is, they start to really invest heavily than they should, taking stupid risks, because it's that overconfidence and that euphoria, and they don't realize, like, this is the top of the cycle. So what comes next is things don't really, like, for the most part, usually like dive off a cliff right away. Most of the time things kind of go sideways for a little bit, and that brings to the next stage of what is called complacency. And people are just like, oh, everything's still good, it's just kind of cooling off, kind of taking a break right now, things just can't go straight up forever, just chill, everything's gonna be good. You never know, it's just gonna keep going back up again at any time now. And then everybody's got that mindset, so nobody's like seeing the danger that things have started to go down a little bit, or even like stop going up. And the next thing comes anxiety, because this is when things start to drop down to kind of the same level where everyone was in belief that this is really working out and everything like that. So people still are in that belief that everything's going to work out, everything's going good. It's just taking a little longer than they thought. A little bit surprised that things aren't working out like they thought, and that things are starting to go down a little bit, and this causes anxiety, makes people nervous. I didn't think it was going to do this, whatever, but for the most part, that usually doesn't stop people. That usually doesn't get people to change course, to take a better look at the situation and reassess. So usually this is where things crash the hardest. Usually this is where you see the steepest peak going down, and that leads to denial, because at this point people have already like invested so much, they put so much time and effort into something, and it's hard for them to believe that like wow, like I really lost this much, like this is really not working out like I thought it would. But if I were to get out now, I would lose everything I put into it. I'd be taking a loss, I'd be wasting my time, that kind of thing. Even though like really it's probably a pretty good time to just count your losses and say whatever, but it's really psychologically difficult for people to do. So everything keeps going down, almost to the bottom, but not there yet. So this is when people panic. This is when people really start to feel it, and they're just like, man, I can't take this anymore, this is too much, I just need to get out of here. This isn't working. It's time to just count my losses, and something they should have done a long time ago, but it wasn't bad enough. Things weren't really that bad that it would have caused people to do that. But now they're starting to realize like, okay, this didn't work out like I thought it was. It's going down. Time to be done with it. But in reality, this is the point where it's almost at the bottom. This is the point where you really should be like starting to reinvest your efforts or your money or whatever, because the next stage is called capitulation. And this is where the majority of people who don't understand this kind of mindset and this psychology are going to say, you know what, time to get out. Kind of like the euphoria where everybody was like, okay, time to get in. So educated people that have been through these cycles before, they all realize like, okay, this is the perfect time to start getting in, perfect time to start reinvesting, buying back in again. But most people don't do that. Most people are selling, taking that loss. And then that leads to the next step, which is anger. And everyone's looking for someone to blame. How did this happen? Why did I do this? Me personally, when I've been through these stages before, I would get angry at myself, be like, why'd I do this? Why'd I put myself in this situation? I'm so stupid, all that kind of thing, which I know now is, like really unhealthy. It's a really stupid way to think about things, because life is full of ups and downs, like I said before. Things go round and round, like I said before, and if you don't realize that, things like that are going to happen. But there's no way to be 100% right every time, so you're still going to go through those things in life, and it's just inevitable, and just gotta deal with it. Just gotta realize that it's just gonna educate you about future situations if you can look at it from the right perspective. So the last stage of things before they turn around is depression. And that's when people really like, the anger's gone, and they realize like, wow, like look at how bad I did, look how much I lost, like look at how much time I wasted, whatever applies to the situation at hand. So as I said, this is all a cycle really, and that was the last step of the cycle, which takes you back to the first. and it's a never-ending repeat and repeat. And the more you become conscious of this cycle, the more you become aware of how you react to certain elements of it, and then in the future you can do even better, and you can just keep fine-tuning the process until you get to a point where it really doesn't affect you, and you kind of get an idea of what's coming before it even happens. So that would have to be the end of the talk for today. Hope you got some value out of it. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Smash up the likes. Leave some comments if you want, any questions, anything like that. Until next time, out.